Ignorant parents who are blind to their own stupidity. Am I the asshole for not giving my daughter her education fund money? I have 2 children, a 23-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old son, with my wife of 25 years. When the kids were young, my parents set up education funds for both of them, which was very generous of them. My wife and I always expected our kids to attend college and then graduate school, as we have done. I have a PhD, and my wife has a master's. Because of this, we decided not to use the funds for our kids' undergrad degrees and did not tell them about the money. My daughter has always been more into the liberal arts, while my son is more of a STEM guy. My wife and I worried about our daughter and her ability to find a job, but she insisted on studying music and film in college. She was accepted to some top schools and chose to attend a rather expensive one, but she had scholarships to cover almost all of her tuition. Everything else, plus living expenses, was her responsibility. She lived in a very small apartment shared with friends in a not-so-nice area far from campus, but she was fine and learned how to budget effectively. After graduating, she luckily found a job that doesn't pay extremely well but she enjoys it, and scrapped the idea of grad school. My son decided to do engineering, and he also expressed that he had no interest in grad school. My wife and I were disappointed, but accepted it since at this point he is already all set up with a very good job when he completes school. Since he did not receive as many scholarships as his sister, we decided to use his education fund to cover his tuition and living expenses. He was able to get a large and nice apartment of his own close to the school, which is important since his classes are so demanding and he needs a comfortable space to work. My daughter was confused and asked how he could afford this, and he told her about the education fund. She called us and asked why she didn't have one, and we told her she did, we just didn't use it because we hoped she would attend grad school. She seemed hurt by this and asked if there was any way she could have the money now. We explained that there would be a fee to simply withdraw the money for non-education uses, and if we chose to do that it would belong to her grandparents so they could put it towards their own use. She's been quiet and short when answering our texts, and hasn't answered our calls at all since then. I know that it seems unfair to her, but it's not really her money in the first place and she's no longer in college. Plus, her brother only received it for educational purposes and it wouldn't be right for her to just have it to spend now. Am I the asshole for not giving her the funds like I did for my son? Update. Many have asked about where my parents stand on this. At this point, they are not mentally aware enough to really participate in the discussion. They did know about our grad school stipulation and thought it was fine. They also knew that we took out some money for our son once we were certain he was not pursuing an advanced degree, and were fine with that as well. They said it was our decision as parents what to do with our daughter's fund, and they would support whatever we decided for her. It wouldn't be useful to ask them what to do with it now, but I have always said that whatever is unused will go back to their care. I have tried to call my daughter with no luck, which is why I sent the text. Despite what many have said here, I hope this does not end our relationship. My wife and I are discussing our daughter's response and our next actions to resolve this situation. For context, my wife has always had a strained relationship with my daughter and did not approve of many of her life choices. She believes we should take our daughter's words at face value and assume she no longer wants the money. From some of the responses here, I fear that my daughter's response was out of resentment and I suggested taking out as much money as her brother was given so at least they receive the same amount. She could use it responsibly towards rent, groceries, transportation, etc. or in some other way to further her career, so it would still be for educational purposes in a sense. My wife is standing firm in her opinion, and we will continue talking it through tomorrow. Comments. Massive, you are the asshole. I feel for your daughter. It would be super hurtful to hear that your parents could have helped you but chose not to. You're a PhD for sure but not the educational type. And the worst part was that the daughter was punished for getting scholarships and had to live in a shit area with roommates while the son had a nice apartment on his own in a good area. Part of this is, I believe, judgment against her choice of going into the humanities as opposed to her brother who went into engineering, and the implication that his studies were more rigorous. The other part of this is their misogyny. They believe their son is more important than their daughter. Also, graduate degrees are cheaper, especially doctorates. Most doctoral programs pay you to be there. This was all around really dumb. You are a mega asshole. Do you know why all that you did seems unfair to your daughter? Because it is unfair to your daughter. You had the ability to use the funds to cover her living expenses during undergraduate. This of course is a bit bizarre. Are you a trustee of a trust? Or did the grandparents set up a 529 plan and give you full control over it, yet you did not even tell your daughter about these funds? Talk about a faithless trustee. At this point, you need to grovel. You need to apologize for substituting your judgment as to the best way to use the funds for your daughter's judgment. You need to make amends. Then you need to circle back and see what the terms of your parents' bequest were. And, honestly, I'd get an attorney to do this for you as you've already demonstrated your judgment is beyond suspect. Most trusts have provisions for disbursement of the corpus if the purposes cannot be fulfilled. I doubt honestly though, that your parents meant for their gift to be returned to them in the event that their grandkids didn't go to college or in the event that they didn't need the money for college. And don't even get me started on the favoritism. You used the funds for your son to enjoy a cushy life during his undergraduate studies but didn't do the same for your little girl? Really? Seriously? In case there was any doubt, you're the asshole truly and completely. Am I the asshole for confronting my parents after 16 years? I'm 16 years old and I've been struggling with my mental health for the past few years. I have a sister who is much older than me, she's 24. My birthday was last week and something happened that really made me feel bad. Last week my family threw a birthday party for me. Everything was fine and all my cousins were invited. I was about to blow the candles but my mom asked if she could talk to me. The party was being held behind the house. This is the only birthday party my parents ever threw for me. For a little background information, I was never the favorite. I was a mistake, I was told by my mom. She didn't want to have me but my father talked her into it. My sister though was perfect. Good grades, amazing looks and loved by my parents. I can't say the same about myself. I was told multiple times by my parents to not talk at family gatherings because I would ruin the moment. I've been told a lot of things that damaged my mental health. I was never abused though. When my mom told me at my own birthday party that she wanted my sister to blow out the candles instead of me, it really hurt. My mom suggested it because my sister didn't have a party at her last birthday. I was quite. My mom took that as a yes. She went to my sister and told her that she would blow the candles. My sister jumped in happiness and got ready for pictures. But I wasn't having it. I stormed to my sister and told her that she wasn't gonna blow the candles. My mom came and said that I should just let her blow the candles since she didn't get to do it on her birthday. She said that I was a brat and selfish. She dragged me inside trying to talk to me, but I knew she was only distracting me so my sister could blow out the candles. And she did. I got watery eyes and went up to my bedroom. I don't know why I expected that I would actually finally get a normal day in my life. I didn't go out for the whole party. Later at night my mom called me down. She said I embarrassed them in front of the guests by not going down after I threw my tantrum. My sister was crying because I was mean to her. My mom told me that my sister would get my gifts instead of me because I was acting selfish. I couldn't take it anymore and lashed out on them. I told them that they never really loved me and that they favored my sister. That I never got anything good in my life and that my sister is acting like a baby even though she is an adult. I ran out of the house before they could say anything and I'm with my uncle right now. They've been calling but I haven't answered. My sister sent a text saying that I was a piece of shit and that I wasn't welcome back. I really gotta know if I was overreacting. Was all that I said really necessary? My sister said that my mom was really hurt. Even if they don't love me, I do love them, and I feel bad. Update, hi. I've read all the comments and I'm really thankful. I'm sorry that I haven't responded but I'll update as much as I can. I'm safe with my uncle. But he wants to send me back. He knows everything but thinks I overreacted. I'm really scared to go back and I really don't want to. My uncle is going to call my mom in a while and he wants me to apologize to my mother and sister. I'll update on that later. Thank you all for your worries. Another update, this will probably be the last update, but I'm so grateful for all your concerns. My uncle said he's sending me back to my parents. Though, I will try to get a job to be able to move out. I've read all the comments and to be clear, I've never seen this as a form of abuse. Obviously I've thought about it but I've been in denial since I really love my parents. Just to be clear about my sister. She lives with us and doesn't have a job. She lives out of my parents' money. I talked to my parents recently and they just said that I should be ashamed for acting like a baby. They also said that if I don't apologize to my sister, I will be living on the streets. I'd honestly rather do that. But if they kick me out I'll try to go to the police. Thank you all for your concerns and bless you guys. Comments. I am so sorry you are going through this. You are definitely not the asshole. I don't know any 24-year-olds, aka adults, who would feel the need to take over a sibling's birthday party and blow out their candles. The fact that your sister didn't decline the offer from your parents, makes me think that she was the one who suggested it in the first place. Then your parents showed their blatant favoritism, or willingness to be manipulated, by acquiescing. It's also odd that your sister is the one texting you to say you aren't welcome back at your parents' house. This is another indicator that she is not a passive player in what is going on. My advice would be to stay with your uncle for now if that is an option. Block your sister since she seems to be playing a very divisive role in all of this. Try to find some emergency therapy resources to meet with you and your parents to work through all of this. Their treatment of you is not only unfair, it's ridiculously unjust. You deserve to be treated as well as your sister is. Your mother should never have kept you from blowing out the candles on your own cake. Nor should she have scolded you for objecting. What she did was outrageous. And there is no way she should ever have told you that you were a mistake. That is absolutely cruel. You were perfectly justified in objecting to this and to their abusive behavior toward you in general. Your sister is the golden child who gets all the goodies, so she's being nasty to please your parents. I hope there is an adult in your life that you can talk with about your situation. Is your uncle helpful? Is there a teacher or school counselor who can listen and give advice? It sounds like you might benefit from therapy, and I hope you can get it.